So guys, if I wanted to be a millionaire in 10 years, this is what I would start doing in 2025, step by step. Now I'm going to give you 15 quick things, but I want you to stick around for number 8 and number 9 because these are super important and they'll totally revamp the way you think about money, your money. Now, the first thing I would do in 2025 is get very, very serious and get very, very focused. If I don't take my money serious and get laser focused on what I'm doing, it's not going to happen for me. So I have to stop avoiding my money problems and pull back the rug and take a look at what I'm doing and what I have and just be honest with myself when it comes to my personal finances. Because what I focus on is going to end up expanding in the way that I want it to expand. So I have to begin looking at my personal finances with honest eyes and tell myself the truth about it. Now, the second thing I got to do is I got to get organized. I have to be in control and get in control of my money by having systems and things in place. When I have systems in place, I have parameters and I have guides and I have things in place that are going to sort of keep me in line and keep my behaviors with money in line. Not to mention being organized and in control with money is going to lower my stress levels. Now, the third thing I got to do is I have to avoid negative people, right? The leeches, the crabs in a bucket, and the people who want to bring me down instead of lift me up, right? All those people, I got to get them out of my life ASAP because I want to get around like-minded people. I want to start networking and getting to know people who are doing what I'm doing or going where I'm going or who have been where I'm at. So I've got to change some of my network of people as I move along in this process. Now, the fourth thing I got to do if I want to be a millionaire in 10 years, starting in 2025, is I have to get a plan. I got to get a strategy. I have to ask myself the tough question of what do I want and when do I want it? And I have to be able to answer that question from a financial standpoint. So that means I have to have a mission. I have to have a vision. I have to have some financial goals. And all this stuff has to be written down so it's easily accessible to me and I see it on a regular basis. My vision, my mission, my goals, my action steps. And the action steps are things that I'm doing every single day to reach my goals or once a week to reach my goals. Now listen, just by doing a written plan, you're going to be different than most people. You're going to set yourself apart because most people do not have written goals and a written plan for their personal finances. Most people don't know where they're going financially, and therefore they go all over the place with their money. You don't want that. So I need a written plan for my life and for my money as I move into this new era of trying to become a millionaire the next 10 years. Now, number 5 is this. If I wanted to be a millionaire in the next 10 years, starting in 2025, I have to immediately start getting higher paying skills. That means today, starting in 2025, I got to figure out how I'm going to get some higher paying skills and I have to work towards that so that by 2027, 2028, 2029, the market knows me. The market respects me. The market pays me well for the skills that I bring to the market, right? There's no getting around that. You're going to want to have some more skills to add to your resume that you can do, higher paying skills. And I don't care what you're doing today right now. If you plan for it in the next 2, 3, 4 years, you can have some higher paying skills. But listen, if I want to make more money in 2026, I got to spend 2025 getting higher paying skills. Now, the sixth thing is I have to get a new mindset around money and around finances. This means I got to be listening to new podcasts. I got to be listening to new YouTube channels. I got to be reading new books, taking in new information. I'm not saying you have to spend $10,000 and $15,000 at the conference or the weekend boot camp. You know, there's ways to get information that don't cost a whole lot of money, right? I want you to have that new information, but I want you to understand that the biggest part of the new information is not just getting the information, but it's how you're going to apply the information and start doing the things that you need to do based on the new information you get. So the new information is good. You need it. You got to have it, but then you got to apply it to make it work for you financially. Now, after you get the new ideas and the new information to change your mindset around money, then number 7 is you got to make sure you're doing some of the basics. And number 7 is you got to make sure you're getting the match at your current job. Getting the match at your job is not going to make you a millionaire, but getting the match at your job is a start, right? It's virtually, for all intents and purposes, free money. I mean, just imagine if I said, hey, for every $100 you invest in something, I'm going to give you another $100 to invest in it. Would you do that? Of course you would, because everybody is okay with getting some free money to help them invest and grow. So you want to get the match at your job. It's a start. It's taking advantage of the low-hanging fruit. And even if it only adds $50,000 to your net worth equation over the next 10 years, it's better than nothing. So I got to get the match at my job first and foremost. Now, I asked you to stick around for number 8 and 9 because number 8 and 9 deal with treating your personal finances, your household money, like a business. Look, your four walls is your first business. So number 8 is I got to get a budget. This goes back to being organized. Whether I like to do a budget or I don't like to do a budget, I got to do a budget. It has to be a monthly, written, zero-based budget where I spend all the money on paper first before I get the money. This way, I can track my income and my expenses or my cash flow, just like a business tracks its cash flow. Now, number 9 is I have to start doing a net worth statement. I got to get a net worth statement in my life. Why? So I can track my assets and my liabilities or track my net worth. Now, let me explain number 8, number 9 like this, a budget and a net worth statement. I want to run my household finances, my four walls, just like a business runs its business in terms of the numbers. Now, what are the basic tools that a business uses to track its health? Well, like I said earlier, we know a business uses an income statement, or sometimes called a cash flow statement, to track the money coming into the business and the money going out of the business. So in my personal finances, I need a budget that's going to track the money coming into me and into my household and the money leaving me or going out of my household, my expenses. And of course, a business uses a balance sheet. What's a balance sheet? It's a way of tracking the business's assets and liabilities. And I'm going to use a net worth statement to track my assets and liabilities to figure out what my net worth is. And also, every business wants profits, right? They want money left over every single month after income and expenses. They want that cushion of money. Well, I want a cushion of money too, right? After I pay all my bills, I want some cushion left over called profits in my personal finances. Just like a business has free cash flow left over, I want extra cushions of money left over once I pay all my bills. So again, number 8 and number 9, we're talking about treating our personal finances like a business. Remember, if you run a household, you run a business. Now, the 10th thing that I got to get if I want to be a millionaire in 10 years, starting in 2025, is I have to get some emergency money, some starter emergency money to get me going. I need at least a couple of $1,000s to get me going. Now, I'm going to add to this emergency fund ultimately. Now, number 11 is I got to get out of debt. I got to get out of debt as soon as possible. The faster I get out of debt, the faster I can build up more and more money. So I have to get out of debt immediately. This is one of the most important things you can do because it's going to free up cash, free up money, give you extra cash flow to build up investing and so forth. So whether it's the debt snowball method or the debt avalanche method, whichever method you choose, you got to get out of some of this bad debt. And bad debt is debt on things that go down in value or debt on things that are not going up in value. The longer I pay on debt, the less money I'll have to invest for my future because I'm steady over here paying bad debt. Get rid of the bad debt ASAP because we want to invest a ton of money to help us reach this goal in 10 years. We can't do it if we got car payments and credit card payments and medical bills and student loan and all these things that are causing us to put money towards it as opposed to putting that money towards growing that money. Now, the 12th thing, after I do all that, I got to make sure I have a fully funded emergency fund. And I like to say 3 to 6 months of our needs. So you look at your monthly budget and you figure out what are the needs that I have every single month. If those needs add up to $2,000, then you need about 3 to 6 months of $2,000 set aside in case something goes wrong. Maybe in a high yield savings account or a money market account where it's gaining some interest, but you got to put that money to the side because we don't want to have to borrow from our 401k and we don't have to want to borrow from the money that we're investing in order to take care of an emergency. We want to have that money already there, set aside, ready to rock and roll. Now, the 13th thing I'd be doing or looking to do in 2025 is setting up a separate brokerage account. That means Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, wherever, because this is where you're going to do the bulk of your investing in paper assets, right? I'm going to keep getting the match at my job, but I'm going to be looking for other ways to invest that money and grow that money outside of my job so that I can have an assortment of ETFs and index funds and stocks that I choose as opposed to having the job choose for me. And I'm going to be investing a ton of money into that brokerage account and those ETFs, index funds, stocks. I'm going to be investing hopefully 15, 20 to 25% or more of my money towards that account. Remember, this is step by step. So this is after you've paid off debt, after you've done all the learning, the reading, you've got organized, you've got focus, you've got your budget, you've got your net worth statement. After you've done all that stuff, this is going to be where the bulk of the growth of your money is going to happen. Now, the 14th thing I want to do is I want to get assets. I want to focus on building the asset side of my net worth equation. Stocks, index funds, ETFs, those are one thing, right? We want to get those, want to invest in those. But I want to look at other assets, real estate. Adding income producing real estate to your overall investment portfolio can be a wonderful thing. It can be a game changer for you because it's adding an appreciating asset that in 2025 you might purchase for $200,000, and by the time 2035 comes around 10 years later, it could be worth $400,000, right? You got a potential to really build up your net worth by getting real estate. And I really like income producing real estate because it's not only increasing in value by appreciating every year, but it's also giving you income every month that you can use towards investing even more money. Not only that, but real estate is also sort of a hedge against down times in the stock market as well, and a hedge towards inflation. Because as inflation and the cost of everything goes up, so does your rents and what you charge people to rent out your piece of real estate. That goes up as well. So having income producing real estate is really a hedge against inflation. And not only real estate, you may want to add assets like gold, silver, collectibles, cryptocurrencies, whatever it could be. You want to add assets to your investment portfolios on top of the paper assets that you have. You want to have the stocks, the bonds, the ETFs, the index funds, all those are great, but then you can add to those as well with other types of appreciating assets. Now, finally, number 15. During this 10 years that you're working on getting your finances up and getting to $1 million starting in 2025, you want to be considering a side business, a side hustle. So I want to consider adding side hustles that are going to help accelerate this whole process. That means generating more money so that I have more money to invest, more money to put towards that real estate, or more money to put towards those stocks or ETFs or index funds, right? Because the more money that I have to invest, the more the money has an opportunity to grow and grow into $1 million in the next 10 years. So don't forget that starting a business, starting a side hustle, starting some type of side gig where you can bring in additional income is always a good thing to do to add to your income and give you more money to invest. Look, becoming a millionaire over the course of the next 10 years means first getting a good solid foundation with your personal finances. And really, guys, it's possible for anybody who's watching this video to become a millionaire in the next 10 years, starting in 2025. But you got to build this foundation as quick as possible. You cannot spend 10 years building a foundation. You can build the foundation in 6 months if you really get focused and serious. You can build the foundation quickly so you can spend the remaining of the time in the next 10 years investing and growing. But 2025 is a good year to start to build the foundation with money and get yourself off to a good start towards becoming a millionaire. Guys, drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. And also share this video with someone who you know wants to maybe change their personal financial life. And if you got value, smash that like button for me. And check out these videos right here for more valuable wealth building information. Hey, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.